Let's talk about socks, baby. Let's talk about use and wool. Let's talk about Bridgedale and their 100-year history of manufacturing and designing socks in the UK for the outdoor industry and their new mountain bike range. I'm Guy Kestervan, the Tester Man, and for the past 2 months, I've been pretty much living in the new Bridgedale Mountain Bike sock range. And spoiler alert, that has been a very, very good thing indeed. But we thought, before I go into the tech and the history and initial performance review on this brand new range of mountain bike specific foot warmers, if you could just press the subscription button down there, I think it's down there, it might be down there, I should probably check. That would be fabulous, because that lets the internet at YouTube know that you like the channel. And if you could also give a very warm thank you to my industry sponsors here on the channel and my Patreon subscribers, the investors whose names are scrolling up now, and my regular contributors, because it's them paying monthly not only gives them ad-free and early and exclusive edits of these videos, but it also means that everybody else can watch me rattling on about all sorts of mountain bike, gravel, tech, reviews, tests and opinion pieces for free. So, big thanks to everybody involved. And now, let's get on with the sock show. So, Bridgedale, like I say, 100 years of history making socks for the outdoor industry, primarily walking and running. But now they have introduced a 3-strong mountain bike sock range. So, you've got lightweight summer, you've got midweight, autumn and spring, and then you've got winter heavyweight. And they all use what Bridgedale call their fusion fabric. So, depending on the use of the sock, you get a different blend of materials within it. So, summer weight is a elastane and Cool Max, amongst other things, blend. So, summer weight, you've got a Cool Max element to it for faster wicking and heat dispersion. Plus, you've got a vented top on that sock. So you can see it's a relatively thin sock, highly ventilated. So obviously, feet are getting hot in summer, so you want that cooler breeze on top. Then you've got the mid-season, which is a merino mix. It's actually the highest merino content in the range, 34% in there. And that has some additional cushioning and warmth where it matters, around the toes and the heels. But it also has some ventilation across the top edge. And we'll be looking at the specifics of these later on. And then you have the full winter thickness sock with 25% merino. All of them come in 4 different colours and 4 different sizes in the men's, and 4 colours and 3 different sizes in the women's. And, interestingly, if you just look on the website here, they haven't just made it up, what they think a mountain biker is going to want in a sock. They've actually had their own focus group running for a couple of years, ran through lockdown and everything like that. So let's just look at the website and see what they actually say. We follow the same process as we did when we developed the Trail Run collection. We met and worked closely with a team of 15 amateur mountain bike enthusiasts in the Peak District to understand mountain biking and their needs. From the group, we identified 6 key issues to address: warmth, precise non-slip fit, underfoot vibration damping, Achilles protection, ankle protection, and asymmetric left and right foot design. So these are seriously high-tech pieces of knitting, and they're not, I was going to say they're seamless. They do have a very, very clever low-profile seam. These are the mid-seasons. Let's get into talking about socks. You know the range, you know how they're being developed, but what about the actual socks? Now, first off, I was super excited to get some fancy socks to test. I mean, I get free socks all the time, and you get some nice ones occasionally, sort of smart wool, things like that. But I've always been a big believer in merino, use it a lot for base layers. It's basically a super fine wool with excellent thermal retention properties and excellent excellent antibacterial properties as well. So you can wear it a lot without it stinking. And I've genuinely been wearing these socks for pretty much non-stop for 2 months without that many washes, just to test that out. And trust me, I would not be doing that with a synthetic sock. The amount of nose hair I've got, it probably risked catching a fire and definitely put me on my back. But, so you can see, looking at, this is the mid-season merino sock. You can see you've got a nice tight cuff on there. You've got a little bit of Achilles support there. You've got padding. Again, just a little bit more knitted into that ankle protection area there. I mean, it's not exactly a hard plastic cup. It's just a little bit more if you take a nudge from a trailside rock. And then you've got this deliberate, so it's basically a Y front for your ankle. And that means it fits really, really nice. It's not lifting up, it's not rubbing, different shoe fits can lift your sock up. And also it really, really stabilises your ankle. It sounds daft, but that little bit of micro compression built into the knit really does help. Because my ankles are, frankly, I've had way too many snaps, cracks, sprains. They're just, when you're testing pedals or cross-country shoes and studying about photo shoots, that kind of thing, I'm regularly ballooning my poor little trotters out of shape. So these genuinely help. I mean, they're not sponsoring me. If I can get them to sponsor me, then happy days. I'm not going to lie about that. I have thoroughly enjoyed having these socks to test, and I will wear them whether or not they get behind the channel, and I will shout their merits out as well, because they are fantastic. But this is not an advert. This is me genuinely getting frothing about some really fancy socks. And then going into the midfoot there, it's a little bit lighter. So that, again, wraps up around your instep. You can see you've got some little bit of venting across the top there to help with the freshness. And again, it's an asymmetric design, so there's more on the outside there than there is on the inside. And again, that helps support the underside of your foot, gives it a little bit gives it a little bit of compression, so your foot isn't getting as tired. In some shoes you see it with like a orthotic insert or something like that, but these are actually elasticized to give you that little bit more support in the sock as well. And then going into the toe, you've got a bit more thickness, and it's what they call their T2 damper. Sounds like something RockShox or Fox would use, but it's actually just a bigger loop. As we'll see if we turn inside out. It's actually just, you can actually, yeah. Should have worked this out before. Hang on. Bear with me by a glove puppet, this. Ta-da! Oh, crikey, there's a dusty sock. You can see you've got that more looped style textile there. I'll show you this side because you don't want to see this side. It's quite crusty with bits of old dead foot on it. Again, should probably put these in the wash. Not least because they are thermoprotected. So while a lot of wool socks will lose shape quite rapidly, I've had these in. I have washed these a few times, and they're still absolutely fine in terms of going back to exactly the same size. What I do actually, it's a trick I learned from waterproof socks, where them getting out of shape is really, really common. It's amazing how many waterproof socks you wash them or you wear them a lot, and then you bring them back together, and one looks like a kid's novelty Christmas stocking, and the other one is the other one that hasn't been washed or worn as much is still relatively sock shaped. Because I just couldn't work out why so many socks were suddenly fitting really badly, and I realised a lot of it, they just stretch and they just become this kind of joke boot rather than a sock fit. But these have survived that washing process absolutely fine. But yeah, back to what I was talking about, you can really see the different layers knitted into this sock, part of the construction process. So you've got that Y brace there, you've got that T2 damping in the heel, in the underfoot there, and then again around the toes. And obviously, if you're looking at the summer sock, that's a lighter mix, and then the winter sock as well. Pricing runs from 21 quid for the summers, 24 quid I think for the midweight, and then 25 quid for the warms. And they're all in a decent length for a bit more thermal protection, stop shite getting in down your ankles, and just generally look after your lower leg a bit better. None of that pop socks nonsense here, thank you very much. So, there you go. That's the Bridgedale sock family. I mean, I've put them back in. I have worn the wools. It's definitely getting into the wool season now. Would say, just be careful with your shoe fit. If you've already got a tight shoe, then don't try and cram them in there because you'll just cut down your circulation and you'll actually get colder. So you'll need a relatively generous shoe fit to work with them. These, superb all-rounders. And these, I'm giving them a go on the turbo trainer because that's about the only warm situation I've got going on at the moment. And again, nice, fresh, breezy, but these two, I would definitely, yes, they've been sent for free, but I would definitely go out and buy these with my own money should they wear out or I need a new pair of socks. But again, Bridgedale cover them with a lifetime warranty against defects. So you're in really, really good hands. Oh, and in case you're wondering about the origins of the wool, they are IWTO approved, which is the International Woolen Textile Trade. It's basically the appropriate organisation for making sure the sheep are kept very nicely, well fed, given room to roam. None of the merino is mulesed, which is a particularly horrible treatment. It's nasty. Google it, but not while you're eating dinner. But basically, the wool being used in these socks is sourced from a very humane producers. So, a massive thanks to Bridgedale for sending these in. They haven't sponsored me for this, but I can genuinely get behind just how lovely it is having a proper pair of not just cosy socks, but ones that really seem to make a genuine difference to how your feet feel and perform when you're on the bike. They're great. They really are absolutely outstanding, these. And I say that as someone who suffers with their feet, not just because of all the ankle issues, but also I've got lousy circulation in them and a really bad history of things like trench foot, which, interesting, I actually got trench foot while I was testing mountain bikes during a particularly wet summer. Pretty sure it's 2015, if you remember that one. But I managed to survive 3 years, 6 years actually, if you include graduate training, as an archaeologist in actual trenches in South Yorkshire without getting trench foot, and then still got on the mountain bike. So having these merino and Coolmax socks that keep my feet not only protected, but also fresh, massive deal. Really big deal. Super deal. So do your feet a favour and go get yourself some Bridgedales. And if you're already a Bridgedale user, get busy in the comments so we can get your feedback on them as well.